Alright guys, so I'm gonna be doing a guys on how to get all these gears over here. So because I had dropped the video talking about the newsletter of the 3.1 update, and then I just want to prep you guys in getting the highest rarity of what we have currently in game right now in terms of the gears over here. So I'm just gonna be walking with you guys all these steps over here, like what are some tips and tricks on like getting these specific gear and what to really prepare for, because this is definitely not something you can prep in like a day span, I would say. So I'm gonna encourage you guys, if you guys are watching this right now, I highly suggest you guys to start on working on these right here, because all these gear over here will eventually add up to like a bigger stats of what you guys are currently using. I do know that a lot of people have not really been like looking into those gears. I because when I do those multi-mission builds, like ratings and all that, I do see a lot of people are not equipping with the highest low rarity of the gear. So that's why I know that it's hard to get those to those gear, but that's why I'm doing this, some sort of like an informational guide, just to let you guys know, all right, what do you guys actually need, right? So that's why I'm doing that right now. So if you guys don't want to miss out on any of these over here, I highly do suggest you guys to like hit that subscribe below, and then hit that bell, so because like as I post my video per day, I think YouTube policy is if you post more than 3 videos a day, I think they stop recommending it. So if you guys don't want to miss any of these guys over here, so I highly suggest you guys hit the bell so you guys can get the latest notice once I drop videos and all that good stuff over here. So let's just start from the torso gear over here. So this is called the parameter gear. So this is going to be a flat boosting over here. So currently there's a few different ways you can get this over here, so I guess I can just kind of start up the latest easy where you can kind of get this over here. So if you guys do know that prior to the 3.1 or 3.0 update, we have a gear called the 100%, this little thing over here, the cost down by 100 points over here, because after the version 3.0 update, they have completely removed cost. So this over here become a thing you can't really use for saying. So what they did, right, so if you guys have the highest rarity, so you guys can just kind of come over here. I have completely exchanged mine already, so I cannot really get that right now. So after that, you are gonna get 75 points of those cost gear fragments over here. And what you can do with these cost fragments, you can come over to the exchange page over here, and then you can just come over to the permanent, and then you guys see the cost gear fragment over here. So you're gonna click on that, and then open this page over here. You can pick whichever one of these purple gears you guys would need. I think I have a lot of them already, right? No, I don't have a lot, so I can either pick another one of these right here, another one of these over here. So you guys get the overall idea, right? You guys cannot, let's say you guys play after the 3.0 update, let's say you guys are completely new players, how am I gonna get all these stuff over here? So from the Excel sheet, I just have basically list out everything that you need to know in terms of like how you're gonna craft that. So let's go back to going back to the blueprint page over here, and then talk about the gear. So I'm gonna pick a random one over here. There are gonna be type specific ones, so that's why I listed specifics. So if you guys are looking at armor, you need the body. If you guys are looking at melee attack, you need the arm, and then etc, right? So you guys get the overall idea. That's why I have it listed right here as the specific over here. So that's not gonna be anything you guys can don't get confused with them over here. So you're gonna need 15 of these scraps over here, and then how you're gonna get scrap is gonna be after the 3.0 update. It has been a lot more easier to grab scraps, so I can just kind of run you guys with how you guys can get scraps, right? I think that's most importantly, how am I gonna get the material to get these stuff over here? So we can come over to the event or the mission page, and then we can come over, not this one, excuse me, we can hop over to the daily missions over here, and then you can come over to well, it's currently locked right now, unfortunately, but you can come down to this one over here, the gear slash scrap. So basically what this one gives over here, it's gonna give you this gear here, the parameter gear, and it's also gonna give you the change gear as well, which we're gonna talk about in a bit. It's gonna drop us the 2-star rarity, so that is already plus, that's gonna be saving you guys good resources already. So I never actually done it myself, but I'm pretty sure you guys can do multiple runs, whatnot, and then you guys should be able to grab yourselves good amount of those scraps up here. Like I said, you are going to need those specific scraps in order to exchange for whatever rarity, whatever parts of it you're looking at. So it all not like, let's look at the end pictures over here. You're going to need 3 of the, you know what, let me actually go back to here as a reference as well. So it's always good to represent it back to game so you guys can visually see what we're looking at instead of just looking blindly at the Word document over here. So we're going to be looking at this one over here. I think at the end of the day, I'm just going to be talking about especially the highest rarity you can look at these over here in terms of like the progression of it. You guys can definitely just kind of look at it yourself. So I will just be covering specifically this over here. So all in all, you're gonna need a specific scrap of 1,125. So that is not a small amount you guys can be looking at. I think back then it probably took me a lot of summonings in order to get those over here. So that is not something to take lightly. I would say this is definitely not something you can do within a day or two, right? So that's that, right? So we have this over here. All right, I think another one of those, like, how do you get scraps, right? We can go over to, I should have mentioned this way before, right? So I think I talked about over here, I made a little bit of a, you can say remarks of how to get them. So if you sell parts, you're gonna get, you know, scraps back as well. So let's try the highest one over here. Let's say I'm gonna sell this part over here. This is gonna be a 6-star. So we are gonna be getting approximately 100. You're gonna be getting, let's see, no, oh, never mind. You only get 1 scrap. You get 1 scrap per selling parts, and then you get 100 platinum coins, which you're gonna need as well. You guys see in these progression steps over here. That's why I think that's what I included, because the scrap literally only takes 1. So we can see if any. Let me see if a 1-star rarity gives you any more, you know, these as well. They do. So every scrap is gonna cost. Every time you sell something, it's gonna give you 1 scrap. So that's why I think the best place to even be looking at, if you guys don't need any, let's say 2-star stuff, for example, like, let me see. I'm doing a little bit of a sidetracking, I guess, but you know, okay, let's see. So let's see if you want to grab more scraps, for example. I think another place definitely I did not cover is going to be the friend caps over here. So this over here, it depends on it. So how you gonna get friend points, I think it's something that I need to cover again, right? So you might be asking, how do you have that much friend point? This basically depends on how many people are using a relief unit. I think every time someone uses a relief unit, you get 100 points, so that's why I have that. But let me see how many scraps you can get. You get 10 scraps, and they drop in different typings, so that's why you're gonna have to do multiple in order to get that. But one way you can get this, right? Let's see. One other way you can also get that is because during the second year anniversary, they gave us 200 of these tickets over here. So what you can do is, right, let's say you don't want any of your 3-star or 2-star. I think 2-star is good. I think there are some obviously some really good 3-star part you can be looking at. So let's see. I'm gonna do some summons over here. Just using these tickets. So whatever 2-star is I summon for, they will be completely transferred into scrap, so you guys can see. So a scrap. I think, all right, I think I missed the page, so sorry on that. So let me kind of run it back one more time. So we're gonna skip, and then right here. So this page over here is telling me what I have got. So all in total, I have gotten how many scraps in total? So I jumped from 59 to 67. So that is like roughly about 8. I think, yeah. I got 8 scraps from that. And down below right here, it tells you like what is increased. So I got some head scraps, torso scraps, arm scraps, and then some ranged weapon right there as well. So that is one way to get that. So I think I basically covered what are the ways to get that. So so that is that, right? And then in terms of getting, all right, and then the next item to kind of talk about how to get the 10 parameter gear piece over here. Then we need to kind of go over to the achievement page over here. I have listed over here. It's going to be under the achievement, the event points achievement over here. So we can go over to the event tabs, and then we can be looking at, I say this one specifically. I think this is probably the only option you can get it, if I recall, right? If I recall, do let me know if you know there's different types of ways to get that. But I believe this is, I think, the only way you can get that. So it's by achieving some of these points over here. If you get 43,000 event points, I believe in lower requirement you are able to get that as well. So this is definitely something that is going to take time as well, and not something you can complete within a week for sale, right? So that's why it is best right now, because we're probably a month or two, probably 3 weeks to a month away from even for this update to drop. So that's why this is really crucial. For every week you guys should be whenever they have these types of event point achievement, definitely grind those up and whatnot. So I think that should be pretty much it. So I have kind of covered about just a little bit just of like, all right, how to get this over here. So now we can move on to the right arm gear. It's another one of those they call it a change gear, and then when I do my alteration review, that's usually the things I use to just kind of judge how good the part is as well. So going back to the blueprints over here, as we take a look, the change gear, what the effects does for us over here. Let's go over to, basically it's gonna raise melee attack by 30% of your shot of your melee defense. So that's why when I do my alteration review, you guys will see a higher base stats than what is shown in game. That's because I equipped this right, because that is something hypothetically everyone can get. That's why I'm doing that. So let's talk about the easy way to get that right now. I think, let's say a week or two ago, they dropped this little exchange ticket. Going back to here, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but hopefully you guys are kind of following along as well. Oh, sorry, it's under here, excuse me. So it's under the permanent tab over here. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this over here. They drop a coupon of that. It's gonna have that little icon right there. So basically they're giving you guys the 2-star version already, so it's gonna be giving you guys a little bit of a head start. So this is gonna be good. This is something they drop as well, which we'll cover in a bit, so bear me on this over here. So this is actually the better one they're dropping. This is wait, hold up, excuse me. Oh, sorry, they're not actually giving, this is gonna be something we're gonna talk about later on down here, so my bad. I thought they were giving out this version of it. I guess this one is just too easy to farm. Too easy. That's an understatement or overstatement, if I want to say. So they're actually giving us the job gear and this one over here. That's good. Because these two are by far the hardest one to get. So let's kind of jump back to over here. So how are you gonna get the change gear over here? So let's see, going back to the gear over here, and then we can come over to the 1-star just to look at it over here. So you're gonna need 30 scraps to begin with, so that's gonna be more scraps needed. And then you're gonna come over to this 2-star rarity, and you're gonna need 5 of the 1-star, so you're gonna need about 150 in total. And then you're gonna need extra 10, right? And then last but not least, you're gonna need 10 change gear pieces over here, which I have listed. You can get that under the welfare exchange shop, which we'll just kind of run it over again. So we're gonna go over to the exchange, and then we can just talk about this week's welfare event exchange. It's gonna be under the heavy device B over here, if I recall. Let me see. Is it? Or it's not. Let me see. Gears. Right here. So this is how you're gonna get that. So you can get 30 per week. So that should be enough, right? Because you only need 10 and 15 for you need 10 for 2 stars, and then 3. I mean, you're probably gonna need more, I assume, but let me just get that right now, just to kind of stock on them as well. I do have 430 right now, which I probably won't need that much, but it really depends how much it will cost once we're looking at the 4-star rarity bet. So that's why it's always best to just kind of stock up on these kind of resources, I would say. So going back to the blueprints over here, I think this one is just pretty much it. I think these two are basically pretty self-explanatory in terms of how to get that. So coming down to the blue version of it, so you're gonna need 5 in total, so you're gonna need 75. So keep in mind, this is only some scraps, so it's not, you can use basically any of the scraps will be fine. I think probably the hardest one we're looking at is going to be the parameter gear over here, because you're looking at the specific typing of it. So that's that, right? This one's definitely going to be a cut down. So what I assume, based on what we're looking at from the 3-star, so I want to assume maybe for the purple gear, once they drop the purple change gear, maybe we're looking at, you're gonna need 3 of the 3-star gear, which is, how much is that? Maybe I'm gonna be looking at around 2275 scraps. That's a lot. All right, and then on top of that, I'm pretty sure they're gonna drop another one of these, so there's gonna be like a new condition, a new material that's needed. They do that every time, right? So that's not something new that we'll be doing. But I'm just letting you guys know, like, just guesstimating how much we're gonna be needing, because they will for sure probably. I don't know if they're gonna drop it as 5. I think 5 would be definitely too much, right? I think 5 is gonna be a extremely big number. Even for me, like I have 10,000 scrap, I think I'll eventually run out, right? I'm even afraid, even myself. I think I'll run out, right? So that's just give you guys a head start of like, all right, this is something to kind of work on. I know it's not gonna be something you can do in a day span, but definitely something to just kind of keep in mind right there as well. So we finished this one over here. So now we are moving on to the big boys over here. The left arm gear, or they call it the job gear over here, man. These last two gear they drop is by far the hardest and the most grindiest stuff to be doing over here. So I guess let's start off from base over here. Let's start off with the the 1-star gear over here, of the job gear over here. So this one over here, I would say, for me personally, just me personally, right? I think the one I would just kind of form out to begin with is just maybe the melee gear. So pick either or that you guys are using, in or outfighter. I use outfighter a lot, so that's why this is probably the one I will be doing first, And then for shooter build, you have middle shooter and long shooter. So pick some that you usually use for examples. So you don't want to be like doing everything at once, right? Because that's completely hard to be doing. So that's why maybe I'm gonna do this one first. For example, long shooter. Either one, right? Either one is fine. So you're gonna need 30 scraps, basic 30 scraps over here. So this one over here, they're gonna add some crafting conditions. So how you gonna get these conditions over here? So you're gonna start progression up to the advanced chapter 3-6. So I'm pretty sure everyone should be playing the story mode to begin with already, so that should be no problem. But the big problem, or the biggest, I would say obstacle in upgrading the job gear is gonna be job grading. Job grade I currently have up to, let's say, wow, I'm almost complete actually. So for outfighter, middle shooter, and long shooter, I'm closing into that last stage over here. So 400. So that, wow, that's insane. So let's talk about how you can get these points over here. So each pilot is worth 20 points. 10 point is coming out from the portrait level, and then 10 point is coming out of the proficiency level. So I guess this is a little bit of explaining. I need to sidetrack a little bit, so before I even go back to over here, because the condition over here, I would say this one is easy enough, but this part over here is gonna be hard, right? So let's see, what do I even need to work on, right? Let's see. So let's click on this over here. So basically, yep, it talks about over here max portrait level 2. So that's 2 points right there. So that's why I put you can get a maximum of 10 portrait level. So that's 10 points right there, and then 10 proficiency, which I currently have 4 points over here. So that's why I only have 6 points over here. So I can still get another 14 points out of that, but it's gonna be a little bit of a grindy adventure right there, which I'm gonna talk about in a bit. And then what is the best way to, did I even write that in here? I did not. So what is the best way to get pilot, right? I think the best way, let me just kind of type it out right here. Welfare pilots, welfare pilots, 2 stars / 3 stars. Pilots are the easiest to get up to 20 points, something like that. Reason being I say that, I think this week around actually is a good week to recording this, because let's see, we have a new pilot over here, Tatsu Shimento over here. So this is definitely something you can get. I'm going to do this part with you guys over here just to give you guys a demonstration. So I'm going to grab 15 right now. Something I do need to talk about as well, I'm covering a lot over here, so I'm maybe talking about like stuff out of place, so trying to bear with me over here. So you're gonna see this little thing over here. I want to call it the upside down binocular, because that's what it looks like to me. So this right here, I'm gonna call it the growth ratio. So this basically means is how many parts it needs in order to get up to portrait level 10, right? So you're looking at a growth ratio of 3 over here. So you're gonna need in total of 13 parts. So one part is gonna be the one you're gonna feed in the extra 12 dupes. If you are looking at like this one over here, growth ratio of 2, for example, right? You're gonna need 10 parts, and then if you're looking at a growth ratio of 1, you're gonna need 8 parts in order to max out to level 10. So that is something I guess I need to cover as well. So that is something you guys can just kind of look for as well, and like when you guys are like, all right, what like how do I max it out, right? So we're gonna get 15 right now, and then we're gonna sell the extra 4 or 3, 3, right? We are gonna sell the extra 3 on camera so I can get some scrap as well. Can I filter this by maybe the date? So what this actually is gonna do for us over here, so low battery again. So keep in mind what this actually do. This is gonna benefit Infighter. So that is something to keep in mind. So what kind of pilot am I upgrading right now? So this one is gonna be for Infighter. So what I can do right now, I'm gonna upgrade this right here. So 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 point, 5 point, 6 point, 7. So you guys get the overall idea, right? As this little thing go up, I'm gonna get an increase of 10 points at the end of the day. Bam. So after doing this, I'm gonna get 10 points for just having that, right? So that's why I always suggest you guys, like, whenever we do have free pilots, this is something definitely to get, right? So I just got 10 points out of that over here, and then I am gonna sell the extra 2, just for some scrap, I guess. I got 2 scraps, and then 2 more for the type specific one right there. So bam. Okay, so we can just kind of hop back into the shop as I kind of explain a little bit over here. Not this one over here. It's gonna be this one over here, right? This one, yep. I'm gonna click on a random one. So yeah, just that my infighter. I think before that, I think it was only an A plus, but now we are looking at an S minus already. So that's looking pretty good. So I wanted to assume, because in order to get the 3-star, let's kind of jump over to the 3-star already. In order to get a 3-star, you're gonna need an A grade. So I want to assume when they drop the 4-star version a bit, we are gonna be looking at, I think, around, maybe you're gonna need an S grade. So how many are we looking at over here? That is gonna be approximately 20 max out pilots, max out portrait levels, and then max out of these proficiency, which I'll cover just in a bit. So let's talk about some other ways to get free pilot as well, right? Let's go over the capsule. We're gonna do a little bit of a summoning over here. So if you guys have not done so already, right? I talk about, they gave us this option over here, so you can do some summonings as well. But since I have already done it, so I'm gonna do this one over here, right? So what you want to do when you guys are summoning over here, let's say, do not sell any of your pilots over here, because what you want to do, I'm going to do some normal summoning over here, and then what you guys can do with these stuff over here, right? I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a lot of 2-star pilots. Yep, I got some 2-star pilots, and then I got some 3-star as well. So what you want to do now, right? You want to go back to your upgrade stuff over here, go back to your upgrade, and then what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to filter everything by pilots, so it's going to be a lot more easier pilots, and then I'm going to do basic and duplicates, right? So it should be, let me see, not by, I don't want it by date, I want it by names. Yep. So what I can do, so this one is already maxed out, so I can still work on the proficiency, so that is definitely something I can work on. So let me do this actually. Go back over here, do that. Yep. Let me see. Do this, and then parse. We're gonna do pilot specifically. So what I can do now, I can just kind of do this over here. Bam, bam. So I got 9. So I got 1 point right there. That's good, right? That is good. So I can just, this is just a demonstration. I'm not gonna go through every one of the pilot over here, but this is basically what you guys can do, right? Do not sell your 2-star pilot, because they will be a key. There will be a key in order to get your proficiency or your your job grade to like a higher level. So that is something to just kind of keep in mind as well. So now let's talk about the job proficiency, right? That is something I mentioned as well. So it's gonna be this little thing over here, and how do you get a proficiency of 10, right? Proficiency basically is more of like how many times you have used your pilot. So the easiest way for me personally, when I have begin doing this over here, is we are just gonna go over to the events over here, or whichever one you want to do, right? Maybe the best way to do it, I guess, let's say you don't need any event points. I think the best way to just kind of come about is gonna be over here. We can just look at, I don't know, let's say I want capital, so I'm gonna be doing this one over here. So what? Let me actually clear this, clear one stage, and then I'm gonna come back around skipping it, and then that will show you guys. I'm gonna put in 3 completely fresh up, fresh 1 point proficiency, and then I'm gonna let you guys know how many skips you will need to kind of have to do in order to just kind of get to that level 10 proficiency. So let me come back around, so I make a little quick cut over here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna actually equip myself 3 just level 1 proficiency pilots, and then we are just gonna do some upgrading over here. So let me do this actually. So we're gonna do 1 over here, 1 over here. So I'm gonna do this over here, and then I'm gonna do 1 more. So let me just pick another one as well. Let me see something that's not that's level 1. So let me actually do maybe this one over here. So we have a fresh set over here, so we'll just do some skipping over here. So I feel like this one is definitely not the best one you want to be looking at, because this one is going to cost you 15 energy. So I think the best one to be doing is just going to be running the warfare events, because they're look, this one's going to so this basically means I'm going to take the palace is going to do 14 fights, or I don't know, 14 deploys or whatnot. So this is how many times the proficiency is going to go up by over here. So I'm going to do some skips over here. You guys will see that the proficiency went up to level 3 right now, right? Wow. Oh, no, they went up to level 2. I'm looking at the level. So this one over here, so they went up to proficiency level 2, so that means I gained 3 more additional points. So I think the best way to just come about this is actually doing it in the warfare side of it. So let me just kind of show you guys, because it's only gonna cost you 5 energy, and then like even if I have a max health bar of like, or energy bar of like 226, that took a lot, right? So let me just do this. I think any one of it is just completely fine, right? So let me just kind of do 1 skip over here. I'm gonna do 1 more time because this is only 1. So I'm gonna have to redo another energy bar over here. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do some skips over here. So I'm gonna be able to deploy 45 times over here. So that is gonna allow me to increase by a lot, right? So if you just kind of look at it right here, so we are currently up to level 4. So I know this process will take a while, so but you guys are consistently playing this types of events. I'm sure that eventually they'll get up to that level 10. But if you guys wanted to do it the fast way, obviously I'm gonna do a lot of skips up here. So I'm gonna do it 1 more time. So let's see with like like 3 skips of like 45s, or two sets of 45s. How many can we get up to, right? So that is the big question. So we were able to get up to a proficiency of level 5. So that is, I would have gained around 12 points, around there, I think. So as you guys go up in proficiency level, it's gonna take longer. So I think around 7, like starting from 7 or onward, I think it takes about, I think one of them takes about 100 if I recall. So it's gonna be a grind, right? So that's why letting you guys know right now, so you guys can get started on this right now. So I guess that's pretty much it. So I think I covered how to get those trade levels up. It's basically combining, and then proficiency is basically running through multiple events. So I think that should be the end result. Oh, and then last but not least, how do you guys get these up here, the 50 job piece over here? So that is going to be able to obtain via the missions over here. That is something I should have mentioned right here as well. So let me go back to the missions over here. It's going to be under the free mission, and then it's going to be under the very hard. So make sure you guys have played through the normal, the hard, and then the very hard, right? So I'm just going to pick one stage over here, and then we can just look at the drop items over here. So you're going to get the job piece over here. So that is going to be the the non specific pilots and whatnot. Now you're going to have deep in the pilot, and then inputter. So that is something I was working on. So that is something definitely you need to be getting. I would say this match over here is quite long. I think last time when I did it on camera, it probably took me about 7 minutes, I would say. So obviously I didn't show like the whole complete. I think I just fast forwarded, but it's gonna take you about 7 minutes, and that is gonna be a grind. So I just kind of show you guys how many you will need just for example of it. So I'm gonna do a skip of 7 over here. So I think that should be enough when I need to form some different types of gear. So it's gonna drop me 35, 14, no, 15. And then 15. So that's just a pretty basic idea of like how you guys gonna get this over here. So let us move on to the very last one over here. This is the right leg gear, or the word tag gear. And let me tell you guys, this over here is going to be the most grindiest gear you guys can ever work on. Like, oh man, I don't even I don't even want to talk about what are the amount of capitals. And like before that, capital was never an issue, but once this gear drops, oh man, the story was completely different. So let me hop over to the shop real quick, and then I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of a rundown as well. So there's gonna be a lot to talk about on this one, so kind of bear with me as I gonna make my way through this over here. So we're gonna first thing start things off with, like, all right, what kind of gear do I want to start things off with? So I think for first and foremost, let me just be a little bit basic of, like, it's basically what you guys are having on your tag. So basically, if I'm gonna go over to, I don't know, my basic build over here. So for me, I have after work tag with Ace exclusive Commander and then high 5 power. I know that for a fact that Commander has the highest, not the highest, right? Ace exclusive has 10% increase of him, so it's 10% shot attack, and then Commander has the increase of 10% as well. But it's, if we just kind of take a look back over here, right? We take a look at the blueprints over here. Let me see. If we take a look at Commander, I get an increase of 150% to it, whatever the 10% is, right? So that's gonna be a bigger bonus. But if we take a look at Ace exclusive, right, I'm only gonna be getting in 100%, so that is not as high, right? So naturally, if you guys are able to get that Commander for, let's say, I don't know, for your shooter build, definitely this is the one you want to be forming up. But I say for shooter build, I think the next best option may be Ace exclusive, definitely an okay one. But I say long shooter, mid shooter, or mid range and long range are definitely something that you guys can be working on and all that good stuff over here. And then as for melee version of it, I think pro tag is definitely one that is hard to get, but it's definitely worthwhile as you guys to look at that. I feel like mobile fighter is definitely the best one to be looking at, because this one is going to be giving you guys a 150% up. So because pro tech and mobile fighter both has 10% melee attack, but mobile fighter actually gives you a little bit of a 5% melee defense, so that will be a lot more better in translation, right? But due to the limited part of mobile fighter, it's probably hard to farm it up. But I guess not with the the alteration master kingdom, and then as well as master kingdom. So I think it's pretty good, right? Definitely this one or this one, right? These two are definitely something to be looking at. So now let's talk about the nitty gritty of, like, how do you get everything. So let's start over this one over here again. I'm gonna look at protect for example. So it's gonna require you 30 of your basic some scraps over here, and then story progression of chapter 3.3.6. So that's pretty self-explanatory right there. So moving on to the 2-star version of it, oh man, this is where it's gonna get a little bit rough over here. So it's gonna be basic over here. So I've listed out right here. How you're gonna get the word piece over here, the word gear piece is gonna be the warfare exchange over here. So that's another self-explanatory as well. And then as for the type specific one, as you guys can see over here, you guys need to be joining crew, right? The crew shop is gonna be the only place currently to get the 10 piece over here. And then I'm gonna list this over here. In terms of the crew shop, is breakdown by grade. So you have A, B, C, D, and E. Every week after reset, we start out at grade level E over here. So you're only gonna be able to get 10 pieces over here. So if you want to say I want to farm up to the 3-star first of it, you're gonna need total of 60, right? You're gonna need 10 right here, and then you're gonna need 10 right here. So it's gonna approximately take you 2 weeks or so. Let's say if your crew is able to farm up to that grade A over here, right? Yeah, sounds pretty good, right? But most, I would say, is probably gonna take players with me. I would say 6 weeks or so, right? Let's say your crew is not the most active or whatnot, so it's probably gonna take you about 6 weeks or so, right? Just a rough estimate right there. And then in order to, like, now we're gonna talk about buying the pieces over here. It's gonna cost you 60 million on total, right? 60 million is definitely not gonna be a small number you're looking at over here, but that is the facts over here. That is something that's why I say the work gear is probably, if not the hardest and the most expensive you're looking at. And next we're going to talk about some different types of condition that you need to be looking at. It's going to be work rate over here, man. This is work rate is by far the hardest thing to get up to, because how do you get the specific work rates up, you need basically level 99 of those parts. So we're gonna talk about that just in a little bit. So I made a little bit of a breakdown, like upgrade 1 to 15, because 15 is currently the max you need. If I go over here, if I go over to the 3-star version of it, you're gonna need a B plus. So I think B plus we're looking at around, no, need B. So B grade you're looking at around 15 parts. So that's why I made the overall 1 parts to 15 ratio. So 6-star to the level 99. So that is completely everything that you will need in order to get yourself up to that, currently up to that 3-star ready right now. Yeah, so you're gonna need about 15 for right now. I'm pretty sure as we talk about the 4-star version of it, I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably bump it up to like A. So currently I still in the work in process now. I don't think I'm anywhere near to be like A, so that's gonna be a big problem, I would say. So I'm still a long way from it. So literally 15 points mean you need 15 parts, so that's pretty much self-explanatory. So what kind of part are we talking about in order to, like, what is the best option, right? Because like obviously Sokai parts is definitely the best part we're looking at, right? I think Sokai is probably, I think, everyone's favorite in order to get up to level 99, but they are the hardest one by far to get up to level 99. So we are gonna start from the very basic, right? We are gonna be looking at welfare parts, because welfare parts are the best friends in the game over here, because they allow us to easily put up to level portrait, those whatever you're looking at, because I am able to buy 15 of it. So I'm gonna do this one example right now. So let me do this right here. I think I have already done this actually. So let me get to sell, and then we are actually gonna default this to date over here. So let me see. So I have this over here. I have the head already upgrade to that level whatever, a 6-star already, right? You guys can take a look at the word check over here. So this one boosts cycle type, and then for computer, maybe these are not the the one you want to be working on, but I highly suggest you guys to just kind of grind them along the way. That's why every week when I'm doing the bingo set, I always talk to you guys about, it's good they're doing the bingo set because it allows us to get reward from even doing it, right? I guess that's the only reason they're doing that, because it kind of pushes us to upgrade these parts to level 90. If you guys do want to take the extra mile to get them up to level 99, that's definitely going to be good, because they'll count 1 points into the work rate, which is going to be beneficial in whatever parts you're looking at. So we're just going to do this right here. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Level 10. Bam. So that is going to allow me to push up to that level, level 99. If you guys don't know, if you guys don't put your part up to, let's say, level 10 portrait, you're unable to get, let's say I have this at level 9, it will just put me at level 898 instead, right? So that's why you want to have portrait level 10 or EXT level 10. So basically I can just do this, and it's gonna cost you 82,000. 82,000. I'm not gonna do this right now. I'm probably just gonna do this at level 90, because I don't really need the cycle type, for example, but that's just a little bit of a rundown. So I can just kind of show you guys what I have in my inventory now. So we're gonna do max out level, and then we're gonna do 6-star, and then we are gonna do commander, right? Because I say commander is probably the hardest part to get up to, let's say level 99. So we currently do have some pretty good parts as well. I think a lot of them right here is actually warfare parts you're looking at over here. So I think a lot of them are actually warfare parts, except this one and except this one. So yeah. So basically everything I have in my inventory currently is warfare parts, and then some parts from some other exchangeable. So that's that's pretty much it, I think, right? I think that should pretty much cover everything that you would need to know. If you guys do have any further questions, obviously do let me know that in the comment section below, and then I'll answer them accordingly to time and all that good stuff over here. So I think that's pretty much it. That is gonna be a pretty much big grind over here. I can even go over to, let's say, pro tag, which I think I do have it at 3-star already. So we can do just one last thing over here. So pro tag is going to be a little bit of a harder one to be working on, because I don't think there's too many warfare event parts that drop, let's say, let's say pro tag. So just watch out when you guys start doing those weekly warfare, look at the word tag and see if they are going to be something beneficial. If they are, please make sure you grind them up to either doing it for your bingo set, or just doing it to get your work rate up to that level, 15 points, or eventually it's probably going to be like, I don't know, 20 points and whatnot. But hopefully this is going to be like inclusive video, just talk about how to kind of prepare for them. As we know more news of like how to actually get up to the next level, I'll definitely cover it on here as well. So with that being said, this has been a long list of like how to get these gears over here up to their maximum rarity at the moment. So with that being said, this will be pretty much it, and then I will catch you guys all on the next one.